Hello folks, and welcome back to Horizon Forbidden West. Could very well be the end of the game. We need to go towards Seika. The water wing's right here. Let's just go and fly. I don't think... we should probably double check, see if we need anything here. Could be we're in for one last fight. Could be just the penultimate. So just to make sure... Yeah, give me a large health potion. What the hell? Thank you. I don't know if we need any traps, but just in case, you never know. Really, it seems like boss fights are not about traps. It's mostly about whatever ammo you've got. Whether or not you've upgraded all your weapons so you're doing the most damage, but really, traps don't seem to come into it. Granted, the railgun seemed to be more useful than I was expecting. Like, that definitely output a lot more damage on those boss parts than I was hoping for, and it really worked out, so I'm glad that worked. Like, the railgun could actually be extremely useful. Yeah, that was a lot of damage on those things. It looked like it was specifically made for the railgun to do, which I suppose makes sense. Alright, I don't think we need much else here. It says an outfit upgrade, but I don't think we actually have one. Weapon upgrade, we have a couple of things. But nothing for any of our legendaries. Yeah, just the purples, which doesn't really count. Yep. Okay, so don't even worry about it. Same with the outfits. Alright, let's get on the water wing. And meet up with Seika. This has been a great addition to the DLC. I am kind of sad that apparently we don't actually have an answer to the Nemesis problem. I mean, I guess it'll be next game. It's just, I was kind of hoping the DLC would kind of answer that question for us, but I suppose that might be a little bit too much to ask. Alright, let me drop out of here. Because they do not like machines going into their settlement, which is fair. Totally fair.
Wow.
Where did Seika go? She might... Oh, no, she was meeting with the Admiral, right? Admiral is up top, so we're going to have to go around a little bit to get over there. Excuse me, pardon me, coming through. You are... Why do you have new things? Do I have new outfits with you? Hold on. I mean, it doesn't really matter because we're at the end of the game, but I am kind of curious. Outfits. I want... Okay, I thought... Yeah, we already have one of these. The Quen Commander outfits. No, just Resonator build-up stuff. I mean, the Nora Lookout is kind of cool. You know, sure. You know, just be true to your roots for the last bit of the game. Why not? Buy and equip it. Oh, you know what? It's not using the same look, though, is it?
Should fit you well.
Yeah. Okay, so we're still doing this look, which is a cool look. Don't get me wrong. But it is the last bit of the game. Let's go ahead and... Oops, that's not the one thing I'm going to do. Let's do outfits. It's a Quen Marine. Is it not a legendary outfit? No, I thought... Okay, there it is. Normal outfit. Okay, so doesn't apply the look. Okay, it does look pretty cool. I'm kind of curious what dyes come with this thing. The dyes are right over here. Let's see if we can make this look even better. What do we got? Let's see. For the Nora Lookout... Kind of like Frozen Wilds. Eventide's pretty good too. But I think with the face paint, Greydon's got to be the answer. Let's do Greydon.
May this bring color to your days, Outlander.
That actually looks really good, especially with the face paint. Yeah, that totally works. Alright, let's go talk to the Admiral, which I believe is upstairs. Excuse me, pardon me, coming through.
In need of new attire, Outlander?
Just got some new attire. It's fantastic. Maybe a little heavy. Well, I don't know, right? I mean, like, this is San Francisco. It would be about right. Because, you know, we're right on the ocean. It would be a little cool. LA weather? Well, right on the ocean still? Yeah, it might still be cool. Alright. Hey, guys. What's up?
Aloy, when we saw the Metal Devil rise from the hills, it was as if the time of ashes had come again.
Fair.
To think the two of you defeated it by yourselves, it staggers the imagination. And that's not even your most important feat, as far as I'm concerned. Thank you for returning our lost brothers and sisters. What else can I say but that we are in your debt?
All I ask is that you give my friend here the credit she deserves for all the risks she took.
Right?
I would have it no other way.
Okay. So she's
Is he
in
gonna
good
try to
graces
take your
again.
focus?
I was wondering the same thing.
Well, he can't. You're gonna need it. I'll show you why.
Call in some friends. And Gaia.
Seika, meet Alva. The two of you will need to coordinate in order to reunite the expedition.
True story.
Beta briefed me already. I'm so glad to see you guys. You should have heard the cheer that went up when I told the others here in Landfall that your half of the fleet survived.
Diviner Alva, it's an honor.
Likewise. Well, we can chat about all the details later. For now, shouldn't you two be celebrating the fact that you just took down a Zenith and a Horus? Come on. Away with you.
Alva's so cute.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm pretty terrible at celebrating. I don't even know where to begin.
Well, I'm a sailor, so it usually starts with alcohol. I think we have some bilge blaze.
Oh, wow.
You know, spirits distilled from whatever hasn't spoiled in the ship's stores.
Oh, you make it sound so good.
Yeah, it's not really for beginners, so you get a pass this time.
Okay.
But there is something I wanted to talk to you about. Meet me back where we first met when you can, okay?
Okay. I'll see you there.
So hard to tell what that's about. But it's gonna be a date.
So, Seika wants to talk. It's good.
Might not be a date.
And
Just in case.
I know I need to move on soon, but I'm not really ready to say goodbye to her just yet. Before I find her, maybe I should look for her sister around the settlement, just to see how she's holding up.
Okay, we should
Not
definitely
many
talk
can
to
do what
Kina
I do.
first. But just in case it is a date, maybe we go ahead and clean up her face. I mean, the face paint was great when we were actually, you know, being all warriors and shit, but maybe the Nora Warrior stuff actually kind of makes sense. I kind of like this one, Nora Seeker. Yeah, just kind of clean up a little bit, right? But still be presentable, like official. Yeah, I'm not sure about Death Seeker. I like Seeker. Scout's okay, and the Warrior one's all right, but I think I really like the Seeker one, so I'm going to keep that
Fine
one.
painting, if I say so myself.
Okay.
Something wrong with your eyes?
I mean, you were in my way, dude. Okay, so Kina's over here somewhere. Where'd Kina go? There she is. How's Kina doing?
You, my sister's friend.
Yeah, I suppose we didn't really get introductions out of the way here, so hi, Aloy.
Hi, Kina. I'm Aloy. We didn't get properly introduced before.
Of course. Seika told me about everything you did to bring me back. You must think I'm such a fool.
No,
I keep replaying everything in my mind, and I still can't understand how I could have been so wrong. When Walter appeared to us, he really did seem divine.
well, he had a lot of experience manipulating people. Centuries, really.
He promised a whole new world, with me at his side. To think it was all a lie, and I fell for it.
Look, you've been through a lot. I'm sure it will take you some time to work through it. Just try to remember that Seika's been through a lot too, okay? She risked exile to find you, not to mention death.
And I abandoned her.
How would it felt to sail among the stars?
I don't know if she'll ever forgive me.
She will. But you might have to work for it a little.
I'll do my best.
Good luck, Kina.
It's funny, lands kind of deal with the same thing.
Did you manage to patch your uniform?
Okay, so Seika, where did we meet Seika first off? Oh, that's right. Over on this island here where we were knocked out of the sky. Right. Okay. Well, I think it's kind of appropriate we take the skiff tour, right? That would make sense. Kind of, you know, return the skiff. Since we did technically borrow it from her, though, yeah, that's kind of up in the air, how much of that was true. But still, it seems only right to return the skiff to her. It's just a pity we couldn't, like, upgrade it or anything. Like, give it to her in better condition than we took it, but, you know, there's only so much we can do about that. Okay, pardon me, coming through. Jump on. Oh, no, take that, get on there. There you go, drive the skiff, though.
Okay, back to sailing.
And the real question is if the wide mods are going to cause any trouble. Hopefully not. It's funny, I'm assuming it's a date, but Aloy has been acting... She's been acting like she has a crush. Now, maybe it's not true, but Seika is pretty awesome, so it would totally make sense. And they have a lot in common. If Seika could somehow stay while the rest of the clan went, that'd be cool. Though, she has her sister to consider, so the chances of that are actually pretty small.
Seika's waiting for me where we first met. There's no reason to be nervous, right? Yeah.
She's right there.
Right.
Oh, we might actually have to deal with the wide moss. How are we going to get up there? I totally forgot it was a raw cliff face. Okay, hold on. Looks like there is a small beach area right there that I did not see. Is there really, or is that just made up for the purposes of nonsense? Hold on. Yeah, she's right there. But I have no way to get to her from here. There's no climbable piece, there's no grapple point, there's nothing. Maybe I can... I mean, I guess I have to take the slope here, kind of? Wow, there's no really good spot to get here, huh? Here I wanted to return the skiff, and I thought she was going to meet me at, like, a beach or something, but that is not the way that works. We might need to defeat the wide moss to get to her. Okay. Well, if that's what it takes... maybe not. Okay, maybe not. Maybe the wide mods are going to keep a wide berth instead. That works. I guess I should have flown over to her, huh? Guess that would have made more thematic sense. I just wanted to return the skiff. Oh, might as well pick up this. I don't know if we need that at all, but you never know. Hey, Seika.
You must feel pretty good. Got your sister back, your people. What's next for the woman of the hour?
You're the one who ripped apart a metal devil from the inside. I think you should get a bit of credit, too.
Maybe a little.
As for what's next, the Admiral's going to need my help to reunite our half of the expedition with Alva up north. And after that, I don't know. I don't think things will ever be the same with my sister or my people.
You're not gonna sail back with him?
I want to see home again. Someday. But things have changed. The Quen don't know what to do with me, and I don't know where I fit in. I guess you know what that's like.
And Aloy's like, well, that's great news.
Yeah. For a long time, I hated the idea of home. For me, it meant where I grew up, where I wasn't wanted. But the thing is, the last few months, I've realized that home isn't really a place at all. It's more like the people I want to be with.
I like that. And, well, more and more I've been thinking, I want to be with you. And I was hoping that you felt the same way.
Brave her to say it first. Way to go, Seika. Oh, okay. Giving us a choice here. This should be Aloy's choice, not ours. We're not gonna do either of these. She totally wants to go in. She's totally awkward enough that she wants to do this. No question. Normally, I'm not one for romance in video games, but they've built up such a great chemistry here that it deserves the payoff, I think.
And what if I do?
I think I know how to handle it.
Aw, see? That's good. Aloy might actually have learned she doesn't have to do everything herself. And all it took was a random woman from across the ocean.
Seika, I have a long road ahead of me.
We have a long road ahead of
I know.
us.
There are things I have to do too, but it's enough to know how you feel.
I don't know when I'm gonna see you again.
But you guys have the
Me
focus.
neither.
So, every
But
day.
no matter what happens, just don't forget about me. Okay?
Never.
And we just saw them call Alva. They can call anybody now. Or Ava, rather. They can call anybody. They can call themselves. Call each other. Every day. The focus apparently doesn't have a battery you need to worry about. You also have updates. Like, this leaving sad I don't get. $40,000 XP? Okay, sure. The mood's a little ruined when you see the XP marker go up. I'm just saying, like, if you just pulled away without any of that, that would have been great. Interesting. All right. That is an ending. All right. For some reason, I was expecting to fly away on the water wing for some reason. I don't know why I was thinking that. Maybe because they ended the main game that way. That was really good. That was a good, solid DLC. I'm a little upset. We still don't know. Okay, the music's gonna build up here. Hold on, let me drop this down a little bit. Okay. I'm a little upset that we don't know what's gonna happen with Nemesis. I'm assuming there's gonna be something at the end here with, there's always usually an end credit scene, so we're gonna wait for that for sure. And, you know, pay attention to the names that go by here, because, you know, hey, Morgan Berthau, I bet you thought no one was gonna see you there, but I see ya. Yeah, so I'm a little upset we don't know what happens with Nemesis. I'm guessing they're saving that for the next game, which I suppose is fair. Because what can you even do? There is a rumor of another Horizon game. I have no idea what the hell that's even going to entail. Like, it almost seems like you would need to make it an RTS. You know, build up the resources you need in order to, I don't know, build enough cannons to take down the Nemesis. I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea what the hell you can do. Like, really, I would say that pretty much every civilization is just a little bit north of the Stone Age. Like, there's some metallurgy going on, so maybe we're actually more like medieval era. You know, like maybe somewhere, yeah, somewhere like, say, the 1500s, possibly. And that's even probably a stretch. Like, it's probably closer to the 1200s. Like, there's bows in use, but I don't know. I mean, the shredders are kind of cool. I don't think anybody would have considered shredders in any of the medieval times, so debatable. But I think, yeah, you're somewhere between 12 and 1600. What the hell is someone from 1600 going to do aboard a starship? Like, that's the only way to fight Nemesis, right? Is to get on to a bunch of starships and try to blow it out of the sky? Like, how do you even... Maybe there's like a, I don't know, some kind of focused energy weapon that can disperse. I don't even know. I don't even know. But there's this huge open question, and there's just no answers. Like the most powerful beings we know of, the zeniths, the only answer they can come up with is run away. That is not encouraging. That is not encouraging at all. But there's, you know, tens of millions of people on Earth right now. If we just run away, they're all doomed. They're just doomed. There's just no answer. So there's got to be some way to fix that. I mean, bringing the zeniths in was important for the sequel, for sure. No question. And there had to be some reason why they left their colony. Makes sense. And the fact that they actually set this up, so I'm wondering how much they actually planned this ahead of time. You know, like, actually, like, okay, the zeniths are leaving, and so they send the termination symbol, and that sets off the first game. And then the follow-up sets off the second game, which then makes the reveal. And then, you see, I'm not seeing what the progress is for the third game. But I do like that this game and the DLC kind of set up and reveal, like, how important the last game was. Like, we're getting a lot of tiebacks, which is great. But I'm not sure where you go from here. Like, anything else seems almost like a cop-out. Like, the zeniths are taken out because of a coalition. And that's great. But that coalition needs to build immensely in order for Nemesis to be taken down. And Nemesis is an amalgamation of all the minds of the zeniths and all the clones of the clones of the clones of the minds of the zeniths. Like, we're talking millions possibly of minds worth of mental energy, whatever the hell that even entails. Like, we've never even seen a real picture of the Nemesis aside from a big giant red glowing blob. So we have no idea what that actually means. Is it in some kind of spaceship? Is it just pure energy, whatever the hell that even means? Can it be dispersed? Can it be sent to the sun? Can we, I don't know, focus all goodness and light in its direction like frickin' Powerpuff Girls and My Little Pony combined? Like, how do we even do that? So many open questions. I was kind of hoping the DLC would at least give us some direction there, but no. And I guess it kind of makes sense. Yeah, unfortunately, we just have no real answers, and I was kind of hoping for some. It seems like the purpose of the DLC, when you have a kind of a break there, you need to be able to answer at least a couple of questions from there. And mostly all we did was say, oh, by the way, there was somebody you missed in the lineup of zeniths, and so you've got to go take him down too. And I don't know, the only open question we had at the end of the actual main story was, what the hell do we do about Nemesis? I guess the answer is we pulled some information from the last zenith, and so maybe that'll give us a hint? Maybe. And maybe Silence will be able to come up with something. He is pretty clever. It's a little unclear how far Nemesis is behind the zeniths. Could be months, could be years, could be decades. We have to assume it's pretty soon, though. And it depends how much information is inside of Walter's head, right? With that implant. Could be a single page, could be tens of thousands of pages, could be millions of pages. Is Silence just going to be reading right up until Armageddon? We have no idea. It's too bad Nova went away. Nova would have been great for the next game, I think, as like a nice little companion for Aloy. I think that would have worked out great. But unfortunately, not really. And the problem with making the romance a choice is, how do you lead into that in the third game? Do you just hint at it? Do you bring in the key? I mean, it seems like you can't bring in you can't bring her in at all, right? Because if you make it a choice and you don't pull any save game data from the previous game, then you can't reference her too much. She'll talk to you occasionally about like what you can do with it, like, you know, like coordination maybe, but you wouldn't be able to actually like talk about the romance part of it at all. It'd just be they're working together, they're just colleagues. So it kind of makes it a step down anyway, to make it so that any of the three options were possible. Yeah, I don't know. That's a weird decision. Like, that, I really felt that should have been Aloy's decision, not mine. And it's so weird that I have this division in my head of I'm playing as Aloy, but I'm not actually Aloy, and that's always a weird distinction to make. So I guess it's fair. I understand gameplay-wise why they did it, but story-wise, it's going to make it really complicated to do that last part of the trilogy, assuming this is the trilogy. I thought I heard there was a Horizon game coming, though I thought it was a MMO, which I suppose makes sense, right? If you're doing a coalition that has to be grouped together to fight Nemesis, whatever the hell that turns out to be, you need... I mean, I kept telling Aloy all through the main game, Aloy, you can't do this by yourself. You cannot do this by yourself. Get help, Aloy. And she would occasionally get, you know, one, maybe two people. At least at the final fight in the main game, she did actually have, like, everybody working together, which was great. And here, in this game, she actually had Thicka with her, so that was great. So she is gradually learning that she can't do it by herself, so maybe the third game is that lesson finally sinks in. And she goes, okay, I need help. I can't do this myself. I mean, at least she's bringing in Silence. You know, she's still got the group at the main base, which is great. Like, as long as these things keep on building up, taking down Nemesis is a possibility. Even though we don't know much about it yet, the more we learn about it, the more possibilities I think we have there. And story-wise, it makes sense too, right? You want to build up the team. What I really want to see in the next game, it's basically a better version of Gotham Knights. Like, I want to be able to play as each one of the team members. Aloy is a great character, don't get me wrong. I love playing with her. She's fantastic. But I want to play as everybody. I want to play as Aloy. I want to play as Seika. I want to play as one of the Quen, one of the Osram, one of the Tanath. You know, let me play as everybody. Hell, bring in the Karja again, you know? Let's bring everybody in. Play as each one of those types. Make the story jump from, you know, section to section as everyone has to coordinate all together. So Aloy's not doing everything herself, because right now she is, and it's driving her crazy, like absolutely wild. I also can't believe they actually forgot they could talk to each other through the focus. That hopefully will come up in the sequel where they just talk to each other every day, because why wouldn't you? If not daily, then, you know, weekly or something. But there's an instant communication, regardless of distance, that can happen. They should not have a sad parting at the end. They should be, I'll call you tomorrow. Or I'll call you tonight. Or, you know, I'll just call you every day. Like, just, yeah, just build the relationship. I mean, yes, long-distance relationships can be tough, for sure. But they have a way to make it easier, especially since... I mean, the focus makes it at least so that there's a holographic person in front of you. Yeah, okay, you can't hug a hologram, but still, you can at least see them, see their expression. I mean, it's almost as good as a video call, or maybe even better in some ways. Doesn't make it perfect, but at least makes it reasonable. So, yeah, that was a weird... I mean, yeah, okay, they won't see each other physically for a while, because they've got to do their thing. But the Quen coordination couldn't take more than a couple of months. Now, granted, Aloy doesn't know where she's going. Or where she needs to even go. It seems like... Now, see, that's what bothers me, is I think Aloy doesn't know where she's going next. At all. Like, there's no purpose. There's no point to go anywhere right now. Because Silence has who knows how many gigabytes of data to go through from Walter's head. So until she gets marching orders from Silence, why doesn't she just stay with Seika? Stay with the Quen, help them coordinate their efforts. I mean, yeah, okay, she's an outsider, but it seems like the Admiral really likes her. He speaks up for her. She can totally, maybe not take a leadership role, but maybe, you know, lend a hand. Beat up some monsters or some machines whenever they needed to. You know, stuff like that. Like, the coordination there could definitely be helpful. And then she gets to stay with Seika. They can work things out together. You know, try to find out if they actually want to be together for... I mean, the kiss was great, but whether or not it's more than just that initial feeling. And, you know, actually develop a relationship. And then once they do that, you know, help the Quen out for however long it takes to coordinate and get them all back to San Francisco. You know, that takes maybe 2 months tops. By that time, Silence has gone through all the data, and he can actually come up with and formulate some kind of plan of what they know out of Nemesis. It seems like, you know, just take your time. Going immediately from the end bothers me. Because there's nowhere to go. There's no next step. We don't know what the next step is. We have no clue. Yeah, so it seems like they had an idea for maybe there being a next step, like an immediate next step, and it just didn't land, or maybe I missed it, but we don't actually know what it is. Like, Gaia's operational, which is great. It's going to take her a little while to build up, make sure that all the machines stop attacking everybody, but that'll happen. Actually, that makes the next game really kind of weird, right? Because you'll still be hunting the machines. They still did that. They still did the occasional hunt on the machines. And yeah, okay, the Cauldrons would respond by making sure that, you know, they actually had protectors, and it was a little bit harder to do the hunts, but not impossible, because it was still necessary to do those hunts. And the machines kind of know that, and Gaia kind of knows that now. So, yeah. All the machines still being hostile doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Like, protective, yeah, sure, why not? But there are some machines that are actually just developed as hunter-killer, like the Stalkers. What purpose do the Stalkers actually serve? Like, we know what the Burrowers do, like they're really good at actually, you know, not only protecting, but also, like, it's important to have some kind of life form, or artificial life form at that. Dig through the earth occasionally to, you know, churn the soil and whatnot. Same with all the Fang Horns and the various other machines we've seen. Like, there's purposes for all of them. But, like, some of them, like, maybe you don't need, like, a Thunderjaw. Like, what is that actually doing aside from protecting Brimshine for some reason? Or Greenshine, or whatever it is. Or, you know, maybe a Dreadwing's not strictly necessary, or a Stalker, or, you know, a Claw Strider. Like, those aren't strictly necessary designs. Maybe you can go ahead and retire those. And, you know, keep the Plow Horns and a whole bunch of the other ones that are actually, like, beneficial to restoring the environment to what it should be. Oh, but I gotta remember that also Gaia's been fully restored, right? Gaia's got all the pieces. Because the missing pieces were from Zenith, the group. They had all of the educational pieces that were actually destroyed. So we could see a giant technological leap as distributed by Aloy and her allies. That would be very, very, very interesting. Now, see, that kind of lends itself more to an RTS then, right? Because that's exactly what an RTS usually does, is you research the technology, and then it's distributed throughout your empire, and you go and spread it, usually violently. And it does seem like there'd be some violent groups out there that we haven't even met yet, right? We met the Tenakth, but there's only so many... We don't actually know how many vaults there were full of clones and full of developmental ideas. We know there's... I mean, we know at least two, right? We know the ones in the United States and the ones in Asia, because that's where the Quen come from. But we don't know anything about Europe or Africa. Heck, Antarctica? No idea. There could be ones in, I don't know, South America? Could be. We don't know. Australia? Maybe there's one there. And spreading across the world there is a lot like a game of Risk. Like, you're not just handing over the technology. Yeah, that'd be... I don't even know what kind of game you build for that. Spreading the technology along. RTS seems like it would work, but the problem with RTS is it's mostly about conquering. And that goes against Aloy's, like, yeah, Aloy would not like that. So Aloy can't be the focus of that kind of game, so that won't work. Yeah, it's too much theory crafting. I have no idea. I have no idea. You'd have to like build in like a peaceful RTS. There are peaceful resolutions. I mean, I guess you make it up to the player, right? If the player wants to try a peaceful resolution as dictated by Aloy or whoever, then sure, go ahead and do that. But maybe the Tenakth are like, no, we have the military might. We just go ahead and conquer everybody, save the world, and they'll thank us afterwards. And, if we manage to establish a total and complete empire over the entire planet, well, these things happen. That seems totally in vein of what the Tenakth are all about. Well, that's not entirely fair to the Tenakth, I suppose. Karja, maybe. Karja might actually think that way. But not the Nora. Yeah. Or the Utaru, for that matter. Yeah, see, there's some factions out there who won't like that. The Quen would definitely rise up, no question. They'd be like, you're trying to do what now? No. We're going to fight you. Of course, we're going to fight you with spears, and oh, by the way, you found out how to make laser weapons. Oh, shit. So, it'd be a bloodbath. But then they'd steal the technology, and then, it'd be a whole thing, and then it would take even longer to conquer the entire planet. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's messy for sure. Really, third-party companies, now that's a discussion, right? Should third-party companies get credits in your game and or movie? Depends how third-party, right? Like, if they contribute directly, like, say, graphics or audio or dialogue or whatever it turns out to be, okay, yeah, sure, why not? But if they're consultants, like, let's say, I don't know. I mean, this is a hell of a long list, so this example probably doesn't work. But let's say that they point out that you have a flaw in your methodology, and the way you're going will actually make it so the game you've planned out to launch next year won't actually launch for 3 years because you've gone and made up some horrible logistic process. So, they help you fix that. Okay, I could see maybe, bringing in those consultants, but holy fuzzy cats, this is a lot of dudes. It's a whole huge long list of people. I guess I don't know what Airship Interactive is for, but yeah, these are a lot of people. And Beyond Capture. Okay, so we're doing like capture tech. Okay, and Foley. Actually, the Foley work here was really good. Footstep sounds were on point. Arrow sounds were on point. Like, we did lower the sound volume for a lot of the sound effects, but still, they were totally on point, so good job. I didn't realize there was motion capture in here. That would explain why a lot of the motions were a little fluid. Now, granted, we did see a lot of clipping sometimes in some of the areas, and that wasn't fantastic, but, those are minor things. Like, most of the climbing was really good. Like, they did some good work here. I think definitely there could be some fine-tuning. I think if they maybe got together with, say, the Spider-Man devs, maybe they could actually, like, work out some of these issues, but overall, it was pretty well done. And the 3D, of course, I have no problem with whatsoever. The loading times were fantastic. Whoever did that was great. And the way they do the... they make it so you can actually move around the world and actually have it render as fast as it does is fantastic. The rendering distances were great. I mean, sometimes the problem with letting us fly is that we're able to see the rendering distances load in real time. And that's always an issue with flight, right? Anytime you put in a game with flight, you're going to see that issue. You're going to see the pop in. It's going to happen. It's terrible and nobody likes it, but it's a reality that you can't have an infinite draw distance. That's just fair. Now, still, the draw distance was still really good. No question. But it couldn't be infinite, and that was a problem. Now, when we're just on the ground... before we actually got flight, and we did actually get flight fairly late. But when we were on the ground, couldn't tell the pop-in at all. Like, it was great. Loading times were fantastic, able to spin around and move about, and hardly any loading whatsoever. Like, even just transferring from fire to fire, the loading times were, like, negligible. They were very good. So, good use of the hardware, good use of the software, nice use of the assets, like, no question whatsoever. They did a great job there. And the face paint was great too. Just thinking of all the artist stuff, like the costume design was great. I just wish that if I had one complaint about this game, I think it would be the equipment. The equipment upgrades were an interesting way to prolong the length of the game. And I don't think we would have made it to 160 odd episodes if it wasn't for the equipment upgrades, for sure. But I really want a way to move my very first weapon that we got at the very beginning of the game into the end game. And there's just no way to do that. Now, I don't remember too much about the first game, but I don't remember upgrades being that extensive. I remember them being somewhat of a thing. But I don't remember them being that... Yeah, I don't remember them being that extensive at all. So I would have liked some way to make a weapon go through the stages. You know, make it from common to rare to legendary, basically. I don't know. There's more than 3 steps there, but you know what I mean. I want to be able to go from like my base weapon that's crappy and the upgrade takes it through, like take it through its 5 stages of common. And then there's a special, super special thing I need to do to make it go to the next tier. And then go through 3 stages there, and then take that to the next tier, and then 5 stages there to make it an ultimate legendary or something. You know, like build up that single weapon so that it never goes out of style. And maybe that would have felt a little cheap, but I don't know. If you keep giving me weapons and keep giving me outfits. I mean, the outfits were great, but some of the outfits were just recolors, and that seemed a little weird. And really, the weapons are all the same. Like, a bow is a bow is a bow is a bow. If I could customize the bow more, that'd be great. Like, if I could actually design a bow for myself. Like, take the element from, say, this bow A and bow B and be able to merge them together to make bow C. That'd be great. Or, like, take a component and say, well, I want feathers on this one. And maybe, I don't know, machine skull over here and stuff like that. That'd be really good. Like, yeah, so what I want is more customization for the equipment, but not the way you've done it, basically. Like, completely destroy the equipment management we've done here and just completely redo it. And maybe it'll happen in the 3rd game. Like, some method of making it so that I can actually take the weapon we get at the very first and just keep on improving it. Now, at that point, I think you have a Theseus ship, right? Like, what's the difference? I have this axe from my grandfather. I've replaced the head and the handle, but this is the axe from my grandfather. Like, it's the same idea. Theseus' ship is not necessarily all there. So you have Theseus' bow, but I'm kind of okay with that. Because then it feels like it's a continuation of the same thing. Whereas here, I kept on getting new equipment. And at the end, I was like, okay, I'm done. Like, I've upgraded all of the greens, and then I just sold them all. That just felt so... I mean, we got good cash for them, which is great. I love the reselling system and actually, like, didn't shortchange us at all. That was fantastic. But I had to sell everything I had upgraded, and that didn't feel great. Now, of course, that was my fault. I should have gone immediately for all the legendary stuff, I guess. I didn't even know it was there, though. The problem with going into the game completely blind. Yeah, so I don't know. A new equipment upgrade mechanism of some type for the next game, something I'd look forward to, for sure. Or if they just wanted, you know, completely drop this and say, well, guess they're doomed. Which would be kind of horrible. I suppose you could pick it up in like a comic or a story or something. Like if they don't actually have... If for some reason the 3rd game doesn't happen, which I suppose is possible. Because it'd be really hard to do. Like, how do you fight Nemesis? How do you fight a collection of consciousnesses? I'm not even sure that's the right plural. But yeah, how do you do that? Then, you know, if they have some fantastic idea and they're like, well, we can't make a game for this. Sorry, it's not. How do we make the RTS? You know, how do we do that? Or maybe it's not an RTS. Maybe there's some super special secret technology they can go get, and then Aloy needs to go launch the ship and board Nemesis, which turns out to be a ship full of mines, maybe? With, like, super weapons? I don't know, like the only thing in my brain is like a little bit of a combination of like Star Fox and Far Cry Primal, which is a weird combination. But some weird combination of that to actually finish it off, I don't know. Or write a comic book. And so we can get all the visuals and the storyline, and then it doesn't cost nearly as much. Nearly as much. I don't know. Well, what's the budget for a usual comic book? It can't be more than a couple $1 million. I can't even imagine it actually being that much, right? You've got to pay each one of the writers and artists for sure. And then all their support staff. Maybe $1 million for like a 10-issue run? I have no idea. I'm totally pulling numbers out of my ass. I have no clue. Whereas the game would cost, you know, $20 million. Yeah, but then you have, you know, a 120-hour game. So, and actually a better critical review, sure, and a wider audience too. A lot of people didn't read. That's the one mistake I think the Matrix franchise made, is that they actually went into multiple medias. Like, it wasn't just about watching the movies. It was, you gotta watch the movie, you gotta read the book, you gotta watch the anime, you gotta watch the TV show, you gotta play the MMO. You know, you gotta do all these things to get the full story, and nobody did that. Like, they looked it up on Wikipedia and that was it. Alright, so it looks like we are finally done with the credits. Took a good long while, but definitely worth it. Hopefully you spotted a few names there that you would not have otherwise seen. Let's see if Silence actually comes up with anything here. Or not. Really? Nothing? Nothing at all. You're not free to continue to explore during Roaring Shores. New tier of challenges available in the arena. And that's it. That's all she wrote.
Aloy.
Oh, there we go.
With Gaia's help, I've managed to decrypt a part of the data you sent. Suffice it to say, we have much to discuss.
Meet me back at the base then. My room.
Very well.
Okay, we can actually do the epilogue. All right, so let's go talk to... Oops, that was not what I wanted to do. Let's go talk to Silence. I was hoping that you'd come up with something. All right, all the way back up. Man, it's been a while since I've been over here. All right, travel. Fast travel to base. Nice that it doesn't actually cost us our fast travel anything. Maybe that's just parcel of it being post-game.
Okay, Silence is waiting at the base. Beta and Gaia, too. As for everyone else, I should let them focus on their own missions. Get them up to speed on the Burning Shores another time.
I'm not sure we can talk to everybody. Not to mention you go to the gravesite and actually update everyone. Well, in the game there, or in the episode there. We're gonna be a little long, but that's alright. We had to go through the credits. Totally fair. Alright, Silence. Got any good data for me?
You're
Any
back.
good news?
And after mingling with the Quen, I imagine that you're eager for some intelligent conversation.
There are some pretty special people among the Quen. If you drop down to Earth once in a while and did a little mingling yourself, you might
Right.
realize that.
I have more important matters to deal with. Like the data you recovered from Londra.
You found a lead.
Indeed. A log entry he wrote shortly after the Zeniths escaped the destruction of their colony. I'll send it to you. There is much to unpack, but most importantly, Londra theorizes about how Nemesis might be countered. His musings include a list of 21st century corporations that manufactured state-of-the-art weapon systems. It's possible that one of these weapons could be deployed against the enemy. I'll have to investigate each company, of course, locate their facilities, unearth their technologies, determine their efficacy, and whether they can be brought back online.
All by yourself, huh?
Well,
Don't get me wrong, I'm glad you found something that can help. But I've been wondering why you stayed behind with us. And it's the challenge, isn't it? The chance to prove you've got the biggest brain of all.
My reasons are mine alone.
And that's why you'll always be alone.
He's here with you now, Aloy.
Aloy, Nemesis is not a threat that can be defeated single-handedly.
Right?
I am grateful for your extraordinary contributions.
Okay. I mean, that's actually kind of big of him. You know, he's learning. He's gonna get there gradually on his own. But that's at least that's a big step for Silence, really.
Oh, Silence? We might thaw that icy heart of yours yet.
Right?
Now let's see what he found.
Welcome back, Aloy.
Hey, Beta. Good to see you. We actually have something over here. What is this? This leads back outside, I think, right? Stop. What am I doing? Metal shards. Oh, Bogot. No. Okay, so this is just leading me to random other things. There's no actual quest here, right? Yeah, that's all I got. It's just, yeah, we've done the main quest. All right. So instead of doing that, let me go ahead and... There's a new game plus start point. I totally forgot about that. Let me go the other side, which I think is number 2 over here. Yeah, right over here. We could, of course, talk to everybody and, you know, get them up to date on the Burning Shores, but, you know, we're up to date on the Burning Shores, so it's fine. We don't really need their endpoint on it. I do like that Beta was actually helpful during the Burning Shores, so that was great. Let's go ahead and talk to these nice people. Or this nice person over here that totally gave his life to us here. Hey, Varl.
Hey, Varl, I'm sorry I haven't visited sooner. I guess I have a lot to catch you up on. After rescuing Beta and Gaia, I tracked down the last zenith. Even took down a Horus he brought to life. I met someone too. Zeka. We had a lot of ups and downs, but I couldn't have stopped Laundra without her. She's really special. I never thought I'd feel this way about someone. I don't know if we'll ever be anything more, but for now it's enough.
Alright, I'm sure we'll sit with Varl and discuss more.
Snow's melting on my clothes. Great.
It's just gonna get you a little wet, it's fine. Well, thank you for watching, for joining me in our adventures with Aloy here in the Forbidden West. Appreciate you very much, thank you very much, and we'll see you guys next time for the next game. Have fun out there.